everybody, this is Hampsterous Rex. Today is the top 10 best Final Fantasy bosses. This is strictly my opinion, so if you don't agree, that's perfectly fine with me. The rules for this are very simple. One, only from the Final Fantasies I've played. I haven't played all of them, so some of your favorites might or might not be on here. Another is no weapons. Those are strictly bonus, and really, there's only 2 final bosses on here. I wasn't thrilled with most of them, so we're gonna be starting in 3, 2, 1, now. Starting off the list is Humbaba, the behemoth on steroids from Final Fantasy X-2. Like a few other bosses from Final Fantasy X, he was recycled, although he acts pretty much the same, depending on how advanced you have your characters, as usual. Will make him seem less or more of a challenge. For me, he was a challenge first playthrough of the game, and he never will be again. It's a pretty big shame. Big shame. Alright, the Tomberry King is very simple to explain. Pretty much all he is a giant Tomberry. He's a bit faster, has a lot more hit points, has a couple defenses that a regular one doesn't have, such as he's immune to Diablo's attack. Pretty much, the amount of hit points he has varies, but at the highest he can have 250,000, which can be very frustrating. However, it's nothing that a well-equipped party can't handle. He is completely optional, but you don't really have to have him. Having him does make buying things easier, and that is his real strength. And his attack, where he makes a bunch of trash and a bucket fall on your head, is just hilarious. However, when you beat him, he shrinks down, as you are about to see.
But you are a slave to your emotions, and so will never know true strength. Such is the curse of men.
You think our rage a weakness? Then let me show you how wrong you are!
Alright, Rubicante. Yes. You really think that I wouldn't mention someone from Final Fantasy IV? Well, Rubicante is the Fire Archfiend, not to be confused with the Fiend of Fire, Meredith from Final Fantasy 1 or 9. However, there are a couple things about Rubicante that I kind of question. Well, mainly only one thing. Why is it on his battle sprite and it shows so much of his leg? It's really weird. Well, anyway, being an Archfiend of Fire, he has plenty of fire moves, is weak to blizzard magic, has high hit points, and furthermost, I like his personality more than the other fiends, because the other fiends are kind of assholes, like Cagnazzo. But being the elemental fiend of fire, he is the most powerful, and he's the last one that you fight. Unfortunately, we have to. Alright, my flame shields are officially up for this. It's Genova, not Sephiroth. I preferred Genova because there was a bit more variety, and really, there was only one bad one, being Genova Life. The rest were good. I'm using 2 of them for an example. Genova Life was pathetic because they gave you the means to protect yourself from it right before. And as you can see, now it is Genova Synthesis, the toughest out of all of them, but still always pretty good to have a boss like this. I didn't have much trouble with any of the Genovas, but really I had fun with them. Really, because they allowed me to experiment with my enemies, with different strategies, different tactics, and they have always been really fun, no matter what kind of setup you're going for with your characters. We gotta move on now. Alright, it's true, the Undying is a final boss, but he was one of my favorite final bosses out of the ones, well, few that I like. Pretty much what the Undying is Vayne Solidor after he has been possessed by an Esper spirit. Now, he has a lot of powers, including being able to become immune to all kinds of damage. He also can dish it out pretty well. The thing about the Undying that you have to remember is that every time you reduce his health by either a quarter or a third, can't really remember which it was, he's going to hit you with one of his flashy moves. There's a bunch of them, and that's really when he'll start becoming immune and really hitting you harder and harder. So all you have to do is just pay attention to this, keep your HP high, have good gambits on, and always be prepared for whatever's gonna come up. Like anytime he uses a flashy. Alright, this is Seymour Guado, the final time you have to deal with him in a boss fight. He looks like he's made out of water, so his body effects are kinda cool. His music is great. In fact, in character, he is very good. There's a lot of things about him, though, in this boss fight that gave me trouble. For some reason, I just wasn't really able to do that much damage to him in the time that I wanted. But all he was really hitting me with were these really strong magic attacks. That's all he was using. However, I did have my entire party hasted, and I was able to build up my overdrives fast enough to where he would not take out everybody. But Seymour Guado, or Seymour Omnis, pretty much only hits you with magic. I've never seen him use anything that's incredibly flashy, although I'm sure he has it. I just haven't seen it. But still, he's better than the past bosses that we've looked at. But for me, he just doesn't have it to be higher up on the list. And so, we're gonna continue. Yes, fanboys, it's Sephiroth, and yes, it's Crisis Core Sephiroth. I was much happier with this Sephiroth than the one in Final Fantasy VII, mainly because it's the man, and not him turning into some kind of monster. That was kind of stupid. The same thing has happened with a lot of their bosses. X-Death, and Ultimation. They just didn't have it in for me. In Sephiroth, I was very happy with how this boss fight was. He used his sword, he teleported, he used a couple spells, and even tried to use Heartless Angel a few times. But that's if you let him. He has the Octa Slash, but sometimes the DMV can just outright cheese him. If only Zack could win the fight. Alright, Big Bad Dragon at number 3, Tiamat. Now, how should I describe Tiamat other than plain awesome in most incarnations? But my favorite has always been from Final Fantasy II. Had high defenses, high attack, incredible magic, and I've always liked the design of this one over others such as Final Fantasy 8 and 12. For this Tiamat, I would have to say that the difficulty is very high considering all of the defenses, and the only real strategy I have is just stay on the attack, put up my defenses, and keep my HP high. That's really all I can say about it. And it is a pretty good lead up for the final boss of Final Fantasy II. And the really messed up thing is I don't figure out how she could fit in a box, since that's where she was. Alright, the other final boss on this list is in fact Chaos, God of Discord. I'm not talking about the one from Dissidia, he's a bit more up to date. I'm talking about from Final Fantasy I. Final Fantasy I really brought in everything that the series has today. I enjoyed this boss. It's really my favorite when it comes to the final bosses in a Final Fantasy game. And the strategy is actually pretty simple. Keep up defenses, stay on offense, and really be careful about some of his one-hit kills. And another thing, he can completely heal himself. When I fought him, he did this like 2 or 3 times. And spoiler alert right here, he is actually Garland, the first boss of the game. It seems that Garland created a time loop so that he would always live. It's not really important. What's important is Chaos is number 2. The moves that he's able to do all belong to the 4 fiends. He has Cyclone, Blaze, Tsunami, and Earthquake. So he is able to take out the whole party pretty fast, but only if you let him. And this was a excellent way to start off a franchise, but he's only number 2. Alright, who could number 1? Oh, is it a dog? No, it's Gilgamesh. One of the greatest bosses in Final Fantasy history. He's had more appearances than anyone else in the series. More than Cloud and Sephiroth. Because from what I could count, they've only made a few appearances and other things. Games that Gilgamesh has been in was Final Fantasy V, because that's what he originated in. Final Fantasy VIII as a GF to replace Odin. Final Fantasy 11, from what I understand. Final Fantasy 12 is a boss. Final Fantasy 13, his name was used as a name for a shop. Final Fantasy 13-2, he is a downloadable boss to fight in the Colosseum. And that you can defeat him and have him summoned or whatever to join your party for a little while. And he has been in remakes of Final Fantasy 1 and 6. A part of him that I find very, very amazing is that when he decides to morph and he has 8 arms and he's holding a bunch of different weapons. In Final Fantasy 12 he was shown to use knockoff weapons of Tidus's Brotherhood, Cloud's Buster Sword, and Squall's Gunblade, along with using the Tornasol, which was an original weapon for Final Fantasy 12. He even has special moves such as Rocket Punch, Jump, and Ultimate Illusion. Now, he is a little silly. He complains a lot and he runs away way more than ever. But you do have to be careful in fighting him sometimes. He does have high stats. But really, he is my favorite. That is why I use his music. He is definitely the most entertaining boss ever.